Hello all, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. My name is Sarah, coming to you from Northeast Ohio, just east of Cleveland, and it is freezing and I'm over it. And I know everyone always talks about the weather, so I won't go on and on about it, but we had such a gloriously beautiful week last week. Got me so excited for spring and summertime. And then this week it's cold, there's snow on the ground, and I am not here for it. So that's what's been going on outside my house. I'm ready for warm. I'm not a cold person. I don't do well in the cold. Blah. It's not for me. I don't need snow ever again in my life. So dealing with that. I feel like it's also kind of got me like mentally down a little bit. So yeah, I wasn't even gonna actually record today because I've just, I don't know, been blah, been down, but I love talking about knitting, so it always draws me back in. I don't have too much for today, so this will probably be a short video, though I do feel like I've said that before and then they end up not being short, and I guess a short video is really all up to you what you think is short or not. But I have been very much only knitting on a few things, so I have a good bit of progress on those. I have a couple WIPs going that I just are just such flubs, and I don't understand why. I have said this before in, I don't know, previous videos, but I can never start a project once and it be good to go. I have to restart projects 2, 3, 4, 5 times for various reasons. It's not generally because I'm not paying attention to the pattern or anything like that. I just, I don't know why. But yeah, let's get into it. I have no finished objects. Actually, this is the first WIP we'll talk about. Last week I went on and on about being super excited to finally have found a pattern to use my Yarnaceous Fibers Galentine's Day minis with. It's the 24/7 shawl by, I'm going to mispronounce her name, so I'm not going to say it. It will just be here on the screen. And I was flying by because I was holding it double, so it was more of a DK weight instead of fingering, and I loved it. And I literally was, I think, only like 3.5 mini skeins I had to work in, and then it was going to be done. So it should be around my body right now. I should be having it to show you as a finished object. Look at what I'm wearing. But it's not. You see how it's not. Okay. Let's talk about it. Okay, first let me show you what it looks like. So still doing the 24/7 shawl. This is where I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm on day 9. Okay, I was on day 11, halfway through day 11, and now I'm on day 9. That means I lost rows, right? I worked all 14 colors into this shawl. And as I'm working the 14th color in, there's only 14 colors in the mini skeins because it was a countdown to Valentine's Day, February 1st to the 14th. As I'm putting the 14th color in, I was like, this is weird because I don't have enough yarn to finish this shawl. Why don't I? So very quickly going back to what I was going to do with this shawl, I had 14 mini skeins. It's a symmetrically made triangle shawl. I hope that made sense. So I was going to do 7 colors on the increases, and then after that 7th color, do my 7 colors on the decrease, because there would be 7 increases, 7 decreases, 7 plus 7 is 14. That's how many mini skeins I had. When I put that 14th skein in, this isn't going to make sense, but so this is the beginning of the shawl. So 14th skein, if I folded it in half, should have matched up to the end row, right? It should have been the finish. Well, when I put the 14th skein in, it ended here. It ended here. And I could, what? Like 7 colors on the increases should be 7 colors on the decreases, and it should have ended here if I folded it in half. So why did it end here? I laid it out on my bed. I called my husband in. I begged him to like listen to my saga, you know, because knitting's like in one ear and out the other for him. I don't blame him. It's fine. But I laid it all out. We counted the colors. There were 14 colors in it. But I said, but do you understand? Like, so we counted to 7. You could clearly see where I had started then the decreases on day 8. So why is my math not right here? This should have been simple. This is why I chose this pattern, because I should have been able to utilize all of my colors, all of my yarn, and had a beautiful shawl at the end. So why does it end? Why does day 14 end here instead of here? I have no idea. I was really mad. Like, I was really mad. I feel like this project has just been the bane of my existence. And I was so excited to finally have it done because it was like going so smooth. So I was going to put it away for a little bit. But then I know how quickly it worked up. So what I ended up doing, and this probably isn't going to even make sense, but at this point, I don't care if I have extra yarn. I just want it done. So I ended up ripping back, and here, let me hold it this way. Actually, maybe this is easier. So I ended up ripping back. So this blue is day 6. So because I was one color short at the end, I ripped back to day 6. So I ripped back to day 6, and then I started doing my decreases with day 7. So I went back a color because I was missing a color. But now, of course, as I like lay it out, so then this is day 8, day 9, day 10. This will be day 11, day 12, day 13. So I'm not going to be able to work day 14 in. I don't get it. I don't understand how I don't get it. I'm not going to try to understand it anymore. I spent a really, really long time with this laid out on my bed trying to figure out how I could have possibly gone wrong when I was just taking an even number and dividing it by 2. So if any of you understand that, can you please like really dumb it down for me? Like really elementary school, dumb it down for me. Because it does not make sense to me that I use more yarn. I don't know. I can't even figure it out. Because the increases and the decreases are at exactly the same rate. The increases are knit 1 front, knit 1 behind, a typical increase. The decreases are knit 2 together, typical decrease. They both should be using about the same amount of yarn. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So this project is making me really angry, and it's a real bummer. It's a bummer. I have no other words for it. It's a bummer, but it needs to get finished. So I don't really have a good, I didn't put a stitch marker in to be able to show you because I went backwards, and you can't have like an imaginary floating stitch marker to show you. So I went backwards a lot of days, and I'm frustrated about it. So that's that. My next here, let's do a not frustrating project next. My Chevron baby blanket is going very, very well. I had mentioned last week that I divided it all out to have it done by April 1st so that I had time to block it. I needed to do 6 rows a day, and I have I'm almost certain held true to that. I do need to do my 6 rows for today, but I'll probably do those, honestly, this afternoon while I'm watching some TV. So I'll get those done today. But I feel good about it. I do. I feel good about it. So my little toast stitch marker is where I was last week. So I did all that. So it'll be really good. And again, the blanket is made left to right. or right to left, however you want to look at it. And then it's like a I'm trying to think of the size it is. There's like so many baby sizes. It's not maybe it ends up being like a car seat size or a stroller size. I always get them mixed up, but it's a very good size for a baby blanket. And I'm using the Simply Soft Karen Simply Soft in the color light country blue. And it's going very well. And it's soft and it's squishy. Yes, it's an acrylic yarn, but yes, I like to make lives easier for parents with newborns so they can just throw this in the wash. So that is that. It's going super well. Going good. 6 rows a day have been very doable. In my mornings, again, I have about 30 minutes in the morning after I get 2 kids on the bus before I have to start getting myself ready for work. So the 6 rows have been able to be accomplished in that time frame. And then I think like over the weekend, I knit even like longer on it, because that would be ideal to have it done even before April 1st. But if I do 6 rows a day, I know that I will at least get to that. So that's going very good. That's like literally my one project that's going well. I did have to restart it one time because my original yarn choice, I did not like how it was working up. So I did have to restart that one once. Literally every project I have to restart for whatever reason, even if it's a vanilla sock, which I'm about to show you. Last week I showed that I had completed one of my ginormously long yellow socks. No, vanilla socks. Again, it does not have a heel. I put an afterthought heel in after both socks are complete. So this is Sock Ease by Lion Brand in the colorway Aviation. It's a nice little sock yarn. It does have a little bit of a, I don't know, what do people call it? Like a not woolly, natural, or what is that word people use? It's not a soft fingering. That's what I'm trying to say. But I've used this before and I like the way it works up and it wears very well. So what was my point? 100-gram balls. I wanted to try to use as much as possible. I love me a long sock. So the length of the sock was no worry for me. I literally love the longer the better. Love them. So I wanted to make sure I had enough. So I had previously wound off for this so that I had 50 grams each, roughly. And I went to go start the second sock. Now this was the problem with the second sock. When I wound them off, it's obviously a striped pattern, okay? But the pattern is like, not like, it's a weird stripe, right? You know, like it's like variation of different colors in different spaces, but it is all the same, you know, but it's like, there's a lot of little stripes you have to pay attention to, right? So when I wound it off, I pulled a bunch of the ball of yarn off to make sure that I was cutting it at the right place so that they would be symmetrical. Because once again, I'm a weirdo and things really need to be matching. I don't like mismatched things, even if it's by a stripe. I just don't like it. It's a burden I carry. I accept it. I do what I need to do with it. Does it cause extra frustration? 1,000,000%. But it's just who I am. So I wound it off, starting, or, you know, like I cut the ball. Nobody cares about this. I cut the ball at the green to make sure that I could start at the same place. So I finished that. I had an event over the weekend at my son's high school. It was their high school play. He is on the makeup crew for it, so we would go anyway and support the kids at the high school, but we extra go, I guess, because he's on the crew. So I wanted to bring my second sock to start because it's something that I can generally do in the dark and, you know, don't have to pay much attention to. So I'm starting, and I'm like, why don't these stripes look the same? Okay, yeah, okay. So instead of cutting here where I needed to, I accidentally cut at this green stripe. So this is what was working into the cuff. And I knew that it wasn't right. Wait, I lied. Yes. So I needed to, wait, nope, my God. I cut it the wrong green. That's the point. I think I cut it, now I don't remember. I think I maybe cut it at this green when I needed to cut it at this green. So what I had to do was end up winding off. This is the ball for my second sock. I had to end up winding off this much to be able to start it at the same place. So now the issue with this is going to be, because I used a lot of this. The ball for the heel is right inside there. But I used a lot. So now I'm worried, with as hard as I tried, I'm worried that my heels are going to end up being different. And I'm just going to have to get over it, or use a different color yarn altogether for the heel. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to see what happens after I finish the second sock. So I worked on the sock. I had almost the entire cuff done, and I do like longer cuffs too. I don't quite remember how many rows this is, but you know, it's like a longer cuff. So I basically had the cuff done while I was at the play, and then realized something maybe wasn't right. But I was like, well, let me just keep pushing through because I need to keep my hands busy anyway. It was a freaking nightmare. So I ripped that cuff out. I figured out where my issue was, and then I restarted my sock. I don't know, yesterday maybe, I don't remember. So this is as far as I am. I'm just through the cuff. Not much further than that. And that's where I am. So I'm glad to have a vanilla knitting needle, or a vanilla sock going again. I'm through my cuff, which is great because I use I always do this. I can't tell you why, I just do. I always use DPNs for the cuffs on all of my socks, no matter what method I'm using, even if I'm using magic loop or whatever. I always use double pointed needles, and then as soon as I get to the cuff, the leg part, I switch to usually my 9-inch Chow Goose. So it's just nice to finally be on the Chow Goose, because then it's just, you know, knit, quite literally like forever basically with these socks. So this is what I have, and then I have to figure out what to do with this ball. I am also still working on my Luna socks, which is a gift for my grandma, but I haven't really made much progress on them. There's not much to say about them, so I did not even bring them down. But my vanilla socks, I can talk about this sweet little bag, are stored in my beautiful little bee bag that I got from Ginger Snap Fibers. I really, really love her bags. I've bought a lot of her bags. They're just super well made, and I just think she's adorable, and I love what she does, and she's fast with shipping. She is across the country from me though, so that's always a little bit of a bummer when people aren't on the East Coast as well, because things take a bit longer to ship to me, but that's not her issue, and it shouldn't even be an issue for me. But I just, you know, want my stuff fast. But she's very fast, and she's good, and I love her. I love her bags so much. Honestly, I have too many, if that's like a thing to have. What is next? So those are the 3 things I've been mostly working on. I do have a new cast on that will be started on Thursday at my knit night, which I'm super excited about. I did talk about it last week, so I'm not going to go into lengthy detail, but it's the lightweight Raglan pullover. It's a free pattern by Purl Soho. I'm going to be using their Seagrass undyed, 65% organic cotton, 35% superfine alpaca. The color is, what is the color? Buckwheat beige. And it is all caked up and ready to go. My girlfriend did a swatch. I know swatches are hot topics. I have done one swatch in my whole life, but she really had to change her needle size. So, and I know everybody's different, but now I'm a little nervous and I feel like I should swatch. So maybe I'll do that, but I would have to do it today. Today's Tuesday. So I would have to do it today and get it soaked today so that it's drying, so that I could get it measured by tomorrow night when I get home from work, so that I can get my knitting bag packed up with all of my necessities. So we will see. I hate swatching. I know it only ends up like affecting me negatively in the end, but I also feel like I don't care if my garments are ever a bit oversized. And I don't think that it would be undersized. Well, and really, I'm not going to swatch. Who am I kidding? I'm not. But what I will do is once I get a good hefty part of like everything done on the top, I'll measure that and see where I am and see if I'm close. Isn't that so stupid that I would rather rip out a bunch of time on a project than just spend the time to swatch? I don't know why. I don't like wasting the yarn, which I know is ridiculous because you always wind up with like some extra in the end anyway. I don't like taking the time to do it. I don't know. It's really stupid, but we'll see what happens. Stay tuned for next week. So that's it. So that's the only upcoming project. I did also, when I bought this Purl Soho yarn, I might have already talked about this, but they were having their big spring clearance sale. So I did pick up a couple other yarns of theirs to make shawls. I love shawls, and I definitely do not have enough. I think I only have 2, 3. I might have 2 or 3 shawls. I just love them so much, and I think that I've decided I know why I love them. It's the same reason why I would rather buy shoes than clothes or purses than clothes, because shawls, no matter what size I am, will always fit me. Just like my shoes, whether I gain weight, lose weight, whatever, they will always fit me because my feet don't change. A shawl will always fit me. And that's like that's going into like a little mental health, like body image situation that I personally have. But I just love a shawl. I love a shawl. So I picked up a few more yarns to do those because I have several shawl patterns saved on my Ravelry to make. So anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that. No buying has been going well though this week and maybe last week. I think the last time I bought yarn was 2 weeks ago, or I don't know, whenever it was for this yarn. And I'm also trying to do no buy for like life in general, not just yarn. And I actually am trying to keep track of it right now. I redid a little household budget for my family to make sure like everything was squared away there, because obviously you never want to have more out than you have coming in. So I did that. That was really like, I like seeing numbers a lot. Numbers don't lie. So I sat down over the weekend and I made our budget, made sure we were all good there, figured out what things I had to pay. It doesn't matter. This is not a financial episode. But I also would like to just stop buying excessively for the home as well. I have some major financial goals that I'd like to hit within the next few years. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to just keep like a little tally for myself, but as of right now, I have not bought anything since March 13th, which, yes, I understand is only like 6 days ago, but I'm just keeping track of it. Seeing the number, knowing the number helps me feel better. And actually, I don't even know if I can count March 13th as my last buy, because I'm not counting purchases for my home in terms of like decor and things. That's a whole separate issue. If anyone cares at all about what is going on in my life and in my head, I can explain that in a different episode, but I am trying to decorate our home because it has never been decorated and we've lived here for 12 years or something. I don't know. So I just want to make our house into a home. I am allowing purchases for that. So March 13th was a purchase for that. So it's been even longer, but I'm just going to say March 13th because that's just when I remember I bought it. Anyway, moving on, please. TV reading. TV. I wrote it down because I did not want to forget. TV. My husband and I have really just been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is on Prime. We really like it. I think it's funny. I love their chemistry together. It's a really good show. And I think there's only like 8 episodes and we're almost done. So we've been watching that. And then I previously talked about that we used to just watch reruns of The Office at night when we do have time together, which is not every night or very often. But we started rewatching Modern Family from the beginning. So that's kind of what we've been throwing on at night if we just want something that's like chill out, don't need to pay much attention to. So Modern Family, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I personally finished I Know This Much Is True with Mark Ruffalo. It's on HBO Max. Holy guacamole. It was amazing. If you have not watched it, please watch it, and then please tell me what you think of it, because it had all the feels. It's a drama. It came out, I guess, a couple years ago. Again, I am late to the TV game. I know this. I said HBO Max. Mark Ruffalo, he plays a set of identical twins, along with actually like two other, it's like it shows them growing up kind of thing. So there are kid twins and then young adult twins, and then Mark Ruffalo as an adult. So I did not do any research. I don't know if the kids and the young adults were actual twins, or if that again was one person playing two people. I have a feeling they were actual twins, but I don't know that. But it was amazing. It was amazing. Pulled at your heartstrings, made you sad, made you angry. It was just so good. It was so good. And if I could have, I would have binged it. There's only about six or seven episodes. They're all an hour long each. So I did have to break it up, but oh my golly, it was so good. I loved it. I loved it. And then the only other thing that I'm watching is The Sex Lives of College Girls. That's like a funny comedy thing on HBO Max. Written and directed by Mindy Kaling. I'm a big fan of Mindy Kaling. She's also a hot topic sometimes for whatever reason, but I don't pay attention to any of that. I just think it's funny, and it's like just so real life. It's just funny to me. So I am watching those two things, and then I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna watch Chernobyl on Max. I have not watched that yet, and that came recommended by somebody at my work. And her and I just have been chit-chatting about TV and things like that. So I'm going to watch that next probably. And I did start, and I love the, somebody here recommended it. I'm not going to get the name right, but it's a pottery show on HBO Max, like a competition show, like the British Bake Off, but it's for pottery. And it's like the coolest thing ever. Like to watch these people work. I'm just so mesmerized by artists and crafters and creators, and it just blows my mind, like the things that they produce. And that's a really, really cool show too. So I have that on a lot during the day. I think I'm almost through season 1. There's a few seasons, I think. So that's been super good as well. Reading, this has been a big disappointment. So first, funny story. Last week I was talking about that I was reading Curtis Sittenfeld's I do audiobooks. I don't do actual reading. So don't call me a reader if you want to. I don't care. You Think It, I'll Say It by Curtis Sittenfeld. I had previously read Curtis Sittenfeld's book called Romantic Comedy. It was hilarious. I loved it. I loved the way she wrote it. It was great. So I just picked up this one, and I was frustrated last week when I was discussing it because I could not keep the storyline straight. Like it seemed like it was bouncing around a lot and all this. And then I finished the book last week, and I felt so stupid because it wasn't one book. It was a book of short stories, which is why I thought that I just wasn't paying attention well enough. But I feel so stupid like having to admit that. But it was a book of short stories. So after I realized that, I liked it and it made sense. I don't think that I'm a fan of short story books. It's just maybe not my favorite thing. I need more meat. I need more than what short stories can give me. But I'm glad I read it. I'm really even more glad that I figured it out, that it wasn't one story. That I felt so stupid. Anyway, and then actually just this morning, I finished another Frida McFadden book called Never Lie. Now, last week I did mention that I did not really love the Frida McFadden book I read. It was The Coworker. It was fine. It was good. But she has this huge hype surrounding her, and I know that she's been writing for a very long time. I could never write a book. So this is not I just don't want this to be negative at all. I just don't think I'm a fan. And that's okay, because not everybody can love everything, right? That's what makes us all human and what makes us all different. I started reading them because Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady, was super obsessed with all of her books. I think she's maybe now finished all of them. And she loved them. And then a bunch of my coworkers were reading like the Housemaid series by Frida McFadden. And so I was just like, okay, like, let me give this gal a try. It's just not... I don't know. The twists are there, sure. I think that my problem is, and this is going to sound like so, I know how this is going to sound, but I just need to say it. I don't like her grammatical choices. Like, I don't like her grammar. God, that makes me sound really bad. I just feel like she mentions very specific details a little too often, and she tries to pull back, like, she tries to re-reference. What is that called when comedians will, like, say a joke, like, in the beginning or the middle, and then their very last joke will be a joke tying back to that first joke, and then it's like, all makes sense, and it's hilarious. I feel like she did that in this book, Never Lie. She referenced something, but it was, like, too soon. Like, she hadn't mentioned it that long ago in the writing, and it just made me really cringy. And it would have been so much more poignant if she ended it. I don't want to spoil anything. If she had ended it without ever saying it previous. I don't know. I'm just bummed out that I'm bummed that I'm not, like, head over heels in love with her like everybody else I talk to is. But I think that's just how it is sometimes, right? I have no idea why I'm so critical of the way she writes. I am nobody. But it's not, you know, she's just not my jam. And that's that. And that's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. So now I just uploaded to my audio, my Kindle, whatever you call it, I never get this title right. A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's another series that everybody's been going gaga over. A bunch of people at work are reading it and kind of, like, collectively sharing the library of all of the books. And I, again, don't read books. I listen to audio, which is easier for me in my life right now. So I just got that. I've been on the wait list with Libby forever for that. So I just got that today. I'll maybe start it today or tomorrow and see where that goes. I have no idea if it's going to be a genre I like. I'm really willing to read and try anything. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a big book, though. It's 16 hours of audio, and Frida McFadden's books have been like 7 hours, which was nice just because it's, like, quick to get through them. So this is gonna be a doozy. I'm gonna have to, like, make up a road trip for myself or something just so I have more time in the car or something. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be real long. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think that's it. I'm gonna cut it off. I'm not droning on anymore. I don't know why I always do that at the end. It's because I don't want to say goodbye. But I am going to work on my blanket and do a couple more things around the house. My kids will start to be trickling home from school soon. So gotta get back to adulting for just a little bit longer. But anyway, until next week, I hope you guys all have an amazing, amazing day. And thank you for hanging out. Like, subscribe, all those things that we're supposed to tell you to do, which you already know to do. But yeah, thank you so much. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.